And the topic which is for us is e-learning beyond classroom to blended learning. Well, I've been teaching finance and accounting for 28 years, along with my corporate experience. And one thing I have realized is that learning is always a personal agenda. Learning is completely driven by an individual. Howsoever the trainer is good and makes things simple, it's completely driven by the person in front. All that L&D can really do, and which all of you do, is you identify organizational gaps, you try and kindle the need for learning at an individual level, you create excitement about learning, you remove mind blocks, if any, you ensure contextualization of that learning as much as possible. This is very important. I'm going to talk about this a little later. You need to provide appropriate choices. I think social media, the earlier session we talked about a number of choices, and there are more. We need to dovetail the learning with development agenda of individuals. We must monitor the effectiveness of the learning intervention and its progress, and do necessary course correction. So all of you guys as L&D heads do that. At the same time, when we talk about blended learning, we need to recognize that the needs for learning are also different. I think there was a lot of talk about induction learning or induction training in the earlier session, but we can also talk about a number of different needs of learners in an organization. People want to learn new concepts. Some learning is around knowledge updates, some is around developing skills, some to get new insights in the same subject that people know, some for new applications, and some simply for learning from experiences of subject matter experts or people who are in cutting edge of research in a particular domain. Now, to what extent blended learning can be used depends on what type of learning need we have. So of course, in the rest of my presentation, I'm going to talk about more mundane kind of learning than the last one that I talked about, which is the learning from experiences and so on, where perhaps the need for blended learning may not be there. Now, before we get into any more details, I think I've just tried to put before you 5 important components of any learning process. First, whenever anyone wants to learn, one wants to derive conceptual clarity on the particular topic of interest. Second, very important is it must be contextualized. If one only keeps on giving concepts, then actually it's very difficult to connect to the real world. So contextualization in learning is very, very vital. Third is customization. It must be customized to the environment of the learner. Fourth, even if you customize it, finally there must be a process which helps the learner to internalize that learning and retain it, because otherwise the whole effort in the first 3 steps is completely gone. And fifth, which is finally the end objective of any learning, is applying it in the workplace. Now, whenever we talk about classroom-based learning and we look at those 5 elements which I just now talked about, which is conceptual clarity, contextualization, customization, internalization and retention, and application, I'm just going to talk about a few pros and cons here. And we find that classroom-based learning has the big advantage of a personalized engagement with the learners, the advantage of Q&A. But one of the biggest limitations could be that we quite often go by referrals for various trainers, and if the trainer is no good, it could actually turn out to be a great disappointment. Secondly, contextualization is also possible more through Q&A. Now there are, for example, if you want to impart learning in the form of concepts, a case study based learning is of no use, because finally the focus is on concepts, and if people don't know the concepts, it's very difficult for them to really go and apply them in a case study, because we are still in the earlier step of learning. Now in such a situation, if it is concepts oriented learning, contextualization obviously has a lot of limitations in a classroom based training, because if the trainer gets into the domain of giving the business orientation to it, the focus on concepts in a limited time frame gets lost. So obviously there is a limitation, but to some extent the trainer is able to handle it through Q&A. But quite often the limitation of classroom based learning, as I said, one is you can't focus too much on contextualization, and secondly it depends on the trainer's skill and ability to handle it from an adult learning perspective. But classroom-based training is great from a customization perspective because you work with the trainer to ensure that the content is completely customized to your environment. All the case studies are or exercises are appropriate to your organization. So all that is done. But what happens to the next two steps? When it comes to internalization and retention, classroom training is done and it's gone. There's no way to follow it up unless at some stage personalized coaching takes over. So unless the intervention is structured whereby there is a post-intervention opportunity, which given the kind of pressures in the corporate world is very difficult. So the last two steps become a challenge in a classroom-based learning, where again application, you're not sure whether the person has grasped the concept enough to be able to apply that in real life. And all of us are familiar with the multitude of challenges that we face when we get into classroom-based learning. Reaching out to large audiences, work pressures, being able to get people for a course is very difficult, logistical difficulties and costs, grammar issues and speaking difficulties remain. Let me explain this a little bit. And I'm going to explain this in the context of a product that we've created, about which I'll talk about a little later. Quite often, when a trainer keeps on talking about concepts, it's almost like teaching grammar for somebody who is interested in learning a language. So the skill of the trainer may be to explain the grammar as simply as possible, but still it is grammar, learning grammar. Unless you teach the learner to speak that language, it still remains conceptual. I'm going to talk about this a little more so that I think this point becomes a little more clearer in terms of what I intend when I talked about this aspect. So overall, what organizations find is that the payback on classroom-based learning is low. There are difficulties in assessment of learning effectiveness, and thus one finds that there is a huge need which is unmet. Today, I have been engaging corporate audiences over the last 2 decades. In the early 90s, for example, if I would ask this question to my business managers in terms of who manages finance in your organization, people would tell me that it's the CFO. Today, if I ask the same question, there is a 60-70% chance that the people say that we are involved in managing finances of the organization. But are we able to reach finance learning to such a large number of business and operating managers and executives? It becomes absolutely difficult to do it. So classroom-based has this limitation as well. So then we could definitely look at blended learning as the way forward. What kind of blends one can do? Of course, there is another dimension which was brought in the earlier session in terms of the social learning itself. So technology and classroom can be blended. One can handle concepts and contextualization through e-learning and customization through classroom as an example. Personal learning versus group learning, personal learning and group learning. E-learning helps with personalized pace of learning, and group learning focuses on internalizing those concepts in the context of the business and therefore being able to retain it over a longer period of time. Off-the-job learning and on-the-job learning. So e-learning, the other advantage of e-learning is it can help us in revising that content again and again whenever there is a business need. That's great advantage of e-learning, and which can then be applied to the job in assistance with the peers or the superiors. The other blending which needs to happen is concepts and contexts. So the great advantage of e-learning, if it's used skillfully, is that it can provide opportunity for special treatments, and I'm going to talk about this a little later. First, let me deal with some of the challenges of e-learning, which quite often one comes across. One is that quite often e-learning remains concepts focused. It may not be necessarily too exciting when you see only PowerPoints with voiceovers or just listening to one person through a webinar. May not be necessarily exciting enough. And quite often people don't like preaching, for obvious reasons. So finally, what's important is that there must be a kick in the learning. And if that kick in the learning is missing, as I mentioned in my very first slide, learning is always a personal agenda. You can't drive someone to learn. It is always driven by that individual. He or she expresses the need, and as LND heads, we enable that learning. So, is there a way that e-learning can be improved, and that's what we have tried to do as a part of our Skilldom initiative over the last 1 year. What we have tried to do is not just concepts, but focus on context. Follow adult learning principles, create standalone and blended learning facilitators, help to speak rather than rote grammar rules. Now this is a point which had come earlier, and therefore I'm just going to explain this. In the context of a unique product that we have created, which is what the last point is. But let me just tell you about the genesis of this product. Actually, I and Skilldom had a chance to work together when Aditya Birla Group had engaged us for rolling out their Simply Fin initiative, which was rolled out in January 2011, when the idea was to roll out finance learning to as large an audience as possible within the group. So given the shortage of time that we had on our hand, typically there was a simplified PowerPoint based e-learning content which was rolled out between Monday to Friday of the entire month, so almost 20 days it was rolled out. It was voluntary participation, but to create excitement, we rolled out a game on every Saturday. So people would have gone through concepts Monday to Friday, they play a game on Saturday. So this went on for the whole month of January. The response was quite amazingly good, and then that's when I and Skilldom teamed up and we said, can we do something more exciting, because we had limitation of time for this assignment. So one of the suggestions I gave was, there is no better way of teaching anything than a story. And can we not explore teaching accounting, costing and finance through a story? So I wrote a serial of 49 episodes, which is actually equivalent to a 4-day ILT, where people actually, through an episode, through a story which is unfolding at your own pace, you can actually learn accounting, costing and finance in a completely demystified way. So this is what I meant by learning or helping a learner to speak rather than teaching grammar rules. I'll explain it a little more. I always liken learning finance to learning a language. Now you can learn a language in two ways. You can learn the grammar root and you can learn by speaking it. When you start speaking a language, over a period you also master the grammar, but more importantly you enjoy the whole learning process. So learning is all about enjoying the process as well. So here what we have done is, instead of telling people about concepts in accounting, we've said, let's do conversations around which accounting knowledge will evolve. Let people play some games, and without following the typical accounting mechanics route of debit and credit, can we help people using simple logic to construct financial statements? So that's what we have tried to do through small games. So, of course, some bit of our own proportion in terms of what we have tried to do, because it's indeed very, very different. So here are some screenshots from the course that we've created. There are a lot of conversations, there are small games, people actually get to see data, there is decision making involved based on real-time data, and so on and so forth. So we have, over last about 8 months, created multiple exciting products, including in the domains such as I said, fundamentals of finance, business communication, effective managerial practice, environmental health and safety, analytical skills, cross-cultural sensitivity, time management, and so on. So friends, thank you very much for this opportunity, and we look forward to more deliberations. Thank you so much.